Continental Racing Across America. Presented by Visa. The Breeders' Cup statue has arrived at Hollywood Park here in Inglewood, California, at this track of lakes and flowers. Has been designated for the third time to play host to Racing's Championship Day, Breeders' Cup 14, 1997. But that's not until November, and we have championship racing here this afternoon. And for the final time in 1996, hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. We'll wrap up our thrifty car rental Racing Across America series on ESPN for the year. And what a finale. The third and final day of the Autumn Turf Festival of Racing here at Hollywood Park. 6 races worth more than $2.15 million, all on the grass. We'll be featuring 2 of the big ones for you live today, the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby and the $700,000 Matriarch. The Matriarch has been a race to decide year-end championships in the female turf division. We remember the great races in the past, like Flawlessly, 3-time winner of the Matriarch for Harbor View Farms, and winner of the 1992 and 1993 Eclipse Awards. And that Eclipse is the goal of many of the fillies and mares in the Matriarch this afternoon. For more of our championship showdown on the turf and other stories we'll be covering for you today, let's call in my colleague Dave Johnson.
Thanks, Chris. Well, you know, the #1 item on a fan's racing menu is turf action. And when there are big fields and top jockeys and a firm surface, you get close finishes and good payoffs. And the Turf Festival proves that if you build it, they will come. And Hollywood Park is having a great weekend. Today on our broadcast, the Matriarch with Eclipse Award implications and the Hollywood Derby, our first live race. Here are the conditions for that event. It's strictly for 3-year-olds. It's on the turf at 9 furlongs, a Grade 1 event, and the purse for the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby, $500,000. Let's check the field. We start with an entry from Jeremy Nocita's barn of Take a Left with Corey Black and Mystic Knight, a graded stakes winner in England. Generous price there, 18-1. Now, the Billy Mott entry has drawn poorly. Trail City will start from post 10 with Pat Day, and Le Triton, a Grade 1 winner in France, starts from post 13 with McCarran. The lone filly in the contest is True Flair, and from Bobby Frankel's barn, Gary Stevens gets the mount, and as you see, a pretty good price there. We have Rainbow Blues, the 4-horse, 5th in last year's Irish Derby, and Corey Nakatani just back from an international jockey competition in Japan, and 5-2 the price there. Astor Place, a European invader who's been idle since July, with Cash Asmussen, who's in for the ride, 15-1. From Wayne Lucas's stable, Marlin, and a telling jockey assignment. Wayne has brought jockey John Velazquez to this side of the country to ride this horse for the first time. Okay by Me with Jorge Chavez, also Jorge coming in from New York, 9-1. Jeerhan is at 12-1 with the leading rider of the meet, Alex Solis. New York Invader, Devil's Cup, and long shots complete this field. The Barking Shark, Currency Arbitrage, and Lago, 14 in all. Well, the Hollywood Derby was switched to the turf in 1981, and 5 of the last Hollywood Derby winners have paid over $30. 5 of the last 10. So with that in mind, let's take a closer look at the favorites and a couple long shots for this race. Trainer Bill Mott, who won this race with Paradise Creek in 1992, is back with a pair, including Trail City. He hasn't been the luckiest of horses, but he's still managed to be on the board in 9 of his 10 starts on the lawn. Stablemate Le Triton wired an allowance field at Churchill Downs in his U.S. debut after a decent French campaign, which included a Grade 1 win. Hey, 2 Motts for the price of 1? That's never bad business. And like his namesake, Marlin has proven tough to catch with a front-running victory in the Secretary. And he was twice a respectable 3rd in Grade 1 races against his elders in New York. And from the local contingent comes Rainbow Blues, who won the Del Mar Derby at the last possible moment. His form also includes a runner-up effort in the Irish 2000 Guineas to Spinning World, most recently 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Upset possibilities include the John Kimmel-trained Devil's Cup. He earned his way here with a strong 2nd to older horses in the Knickerbocker at Aqueduct.
He's improving at this time of the year, and we think this horse is going to have a nice future. He's just been training great since then, and we thought he deserved a shot to come on out to California in a race like the Hollywood Derby.
And if you don't like those, just keep looking. The choices in this Crown Royal Hollywood Derby are practically endless. And a couple more to think about. How about number 7, OK By Me? A 4-time stakes winner on the grass. A graded winner in the U.S. and Canada. 9-1. How about that? And the number 3 horse, True Flair, the only filly, she beat the Colts in Europe not only last year as a 2-year-old, but again this spring. So, Chris, this field is deep in talent and tough to pick a winner in this 14-horse field.
Well, that it is, Dave. We're about 6 minutes to a post. We'll try to put some of those puzzle pieces together for you as we get closer to that Hollywood Derby. But first, welcome from our host today, the president, CEO of Hollywood Park. He's going to talk about, well, some more innovations they've had here to bring new, young race fans to the track.
Long shots is the area that we've established for the younger generation. As you know, Friday nights have become a tradition at Hollywood Park, and we're bringing out a lot of younger people. We went further this year, and we've established their own area. They have their own bar, their own seating in the grandstand. They have their own DJ in between races with the disco going. Mechanical surfboard, all sorts of things for the younger people. If you're a college student, you get in totally free, but it's restricted to people from 18 to 30.
Well, Dave, you're used to a lot of championship events here. As soon as our championship day is over, you're off for another one.
Well, I'm headed to Palm Desert to Bighorn Country Club to have a little round of golf with Jim Colbert and Ed Allred. We have an annual tournament down there that starts on Monday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, you usually don't bet against R.D. Hubbard, but I think I'd take the senior champ, Jim Colbert, and give some strokes. Good luck down there. We'll be back with our Hollywood Derby next on ESPN. Thrifty Car Rental, racing across America, is brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental, racing across America. Presented by Visa. Welcomes you back to Hollywood Park on an absolutely beautiful Sunday afternoon. Temperatures in the 60s. As we get ready for the Hollywood Derby, the new voice of racing here is Luke Kreitboss. And, of course, racetrack announcers always love to play with some racing names. Let's get a few of them from Luke Kreitboss.
Well, some horses' names don't exactly roll off your tongue here at Hollywood Park. We've had Fanya Sadyadi and Asila Motrich here the last couple of weeks, but one horse that I really do like to call is the Barking Shark, and the Barking Shark also happens to be one of the claims of the year. Marcelo Polanco haltered this guy for $50,000 coming in from Sunland Park, Turf Paradise, where I got a chance to call him in a couple of so-so efforts here in Southern California. After the claim, he rattled off 4 consecutive second-place finishes in stakes races, including a good second, just missing in the grassy Del Mar Derby, a Grade 2 event, and then a big effort behind Editor's Note running second in the Grade 1 Super Derby at Louisiana Downs. He's got a high turn of early speed. His last couple of outs haven't been that good. He may be the speed of the speed in this race, and he's always run well when he's a big price, so don't be surprised to hear me saying the Barking Shark several times in this race, and not just because I like his name.
And there is the Barking Shark. Announcers were all saddened to see Cigar retire. He was so easy to pick out with those red, white, and blue colors. But Cigar's appearance here in the Hollywood Derby of 1993 was not that explosive. He finished 11th. He was up close early and then dropped back, but it was Explosive Red who was the front runner. And today, a lot of speed in this field. A speed-laden field with 14, a fast pace, a closing pack closing in on them. I think it's going to be some traffic problems. Might turn into a jockey's race late, and luck could play a big part of it, Chris.
Well, traffic problems certainly would not help out our 4-horse Rainbow Blues, Dave, in the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby here. We saw him up at the Curragh in Ireland. He was 5th in the Irish Derby, but then very impressive in his U.S. debut, winning the Del Mar Derby. Then a troubled 3rd in his last start, the Volante. And he is one of those, Dave, who needs that clear sailing. He does come off the pace for trainer Charlie Whittingham, who is a 4-time winner of this Crown Royal Hollywood Derby. Our stakes and track record now as we are loading up here. It is 146-2, shared by Labib and Slew the Dragon, and the track record belonged to the brilliant Fastest, trained by Janine Sahadi just last year. Dave, they're loading up here as Astor Palace goes in.
Well, first of all, Gary Stevens has been hot this afternoon. He's going for his 3rd winner of the day, riding the 3-year-old, the filly, True Flair, who's number 3. There's number 1, Take a Left, moving into line, and his stablemate Mystic Knight is certainly a big price and could be a surprise with R.R. Douglas. Let's go upstairs to Luke Kreitboss.
Thank you, Dave Johnson. Just about set now for the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby Okay by Me and Jorge Chavez going in. Le Triton, undefeated in the USA with Chris McCarron aboard. Couple back. Jurhan with Alex Solis aboard goes up. And waiting for Lago to the far outside. Post 14 for Lago and Julio Garcia. And Lago wheeling behind the gate. Walks up. Waiting for his start from starter Gary Brinson. Off and running in the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby. It's a good start with Marlin heading straight off to take the lead. Joined by Okay By Me to the inside. Then Currency Arbitrage rushing up to the far outside. And flashing early speed is Devil's Cup. Past the stands with 1 lap to go now. Okay By Me to the inside, leads it by ahead. Devil's Cup to press the pace to the outside in second. And by that, Marlin settles down, saving ground in third place. Astor places fourth. The Barking Shark to the outside, fifth. Currency Arbitrage is sixth. He's 5.5 lengths off the lead. Rainbow Blues tucks in, gets a good spot along the inside, and he's joined by Trail City, who's 6 lengths off the pace. Le Triton, his entry mate to the outside, is next. Take a left in behind horses, 7 lengths off the lead. It's a gap of 2 back to Mystic Knight. Then Lago to the extreme outside, 3 farther back to True Flair. And at the back of the pack is the late running Jurhan. Half mile went by in a solid 47 seconds flat in the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby. Okay By Me and Jorge Chavez in front by ahead. With Devil's Cup pressing hard to the outside. The Barking Shark right there in a good striking spot, racing in third. Marlin tucked in, will need racing room in fourth. To the outside, Mystic Knight is racing fifth. Astor Place, Le Triton starts to crank it up on the far outside. Mystic Knight gets a ground-saving triple on the inside. Around the 5 turn, still Devil's Cup and Kid DeSorbo ahead in front. Okay By Me hangs tough along the inside. The Barking Shark backing out of it. Marlin, here comes Mystic Knight searching for racing room on the inside. They head for home. Okay By Me, Mystic Knight up the rail. Devil's Cup still right there. Marlin gets a good shot on the far outside, and Rainbow Blues kicks it into high gear. Deep stretch now. Marlin forging a short lead. Devil's Cup kicks back to the inside. Marlin, Devil's Cup, and Rainbow Blues, but Marlin will go on to win the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby. Marlin took the lead and draws off in deep stretch. Looked like Rainbow Blues got the place, and finishing third was Devil's Cup. The Derby goes to Marlin.
Well, those are the colors of Michael Tabor. You've seen him before, of course, at Thunder Gulch with Victory Speech, with Honor and Glory. So many of his stable horses. He's been a late arrival in the States after coming over from Monte Carlo in England, and, of course, under the care of trainer D. Wayne Lucas. And today, D. Wayne Lucas, with this victory, Dave, scores his first in a turf festival event, as Marlin is our unofficial winner.
Marlin won the Secretariat Stakes at Arlington International on the front end. Here he shows how versatile he is. Watch on the outside. He's 3 out from the rail. And with John Velazquez aboard, takes the lead from Devil's Cup and holds off Rainbow Blues. And Marlin, who was 13th in the Breeders' Cup Turf last out against older horses, certainly has redeemed himself this afternoon. Wayne Lucas scores his first Turf Festival victory with the 3-year-old, the versatile Marlin.
Well, Wayne said that he thought the Hollywood turf was tailor-made for Marlin, and the trainer was certainly right. Marlin, Michael Tabor's colors, hit the wire first. D. Wayne Lucas with those sunglasses on, and to Wayne's right, there is Michael Tabor, the owner of Marlin. This is Michael Tabor's first venture into the Hollywood Autumn Turf Festival, and a successful one here in one of the richest events, the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby. Marlin, of course, as you see there, his breeding line by Sword Dance, bred in Florida by Gilbert Campbell, owned by Michael Tabor, trained by D. Wayne Lucas, and rather interesting, Dave, John Velazquez comes east to ride here for Michael Tabor and D. Wayne Lucas.
As we said, it was a telling jockey assignment because John Velazquez had never been on this horse before, and watch him now, wearing saddlecloth number 6. He's 4th at this point, and here's something funny. He backs up behind Mystic Knight. At that point, it looked like Mystic Knight in the yellow colors was going to roll on by on the inside, but now Velazquez gets Marlin roaring, and he passes Devil's Cup, the 9 horse, who was very strong. This New York Invader held to finish 3rd, and this place horse, Rainbow Blues, was nowhere to be found early and did get up for the play spot. But a big performance by Marlin, and a big performance by John Velasquez here at Hollywood Park this afternoon. And Wayne Lucas wins the Derby. He won it on the dirt with Codex back in the old days when this race was on the dirt, the Hollywood Derby, and now he has won one on the turf. Chris?
Good look at Marlin, our unofficial winner of the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby. We come back, we'll make things official and talk to the winning connections of Marlin. To Hollywood Park, you're looking at the winner's circle of the Crown Royal Hollywood Derby, where Michael Tabor is going to be presented the trophy by Mr. Kevin Fennessy, the general manager of Seagram Southern California, the main sponsor of this Crown Royal Hollywood Derby. And you saw Marlin just heading out of that winner's circle. John Velasquez off of him. An outstanding performance by Marlin, bouncing back from that 13th in his Breeders' Cup performance. Just as D. Wayne Lucas thought, he loved the turf here at Hollywood Park. It is official. Marlin pays 1060, 540, and 440. Rainbow Blues, we talked about needing a clean trip for Charlie Whittingham. Got just that and returned $5 and 440. And Devil's Cup, who set the pace, 840. By the way, the time of 1:46 is a new stakes record for the Hollywood Derby. Here are the Wittenauer splits to show you how he did it. 23-17, 47-8, 134-13, 146-8. And that is a new stakes record, Dave.
And we had a first-time starter in California. You know he's not the first-time starter, but John Velasquez, first day riding out here, and you win this kind of a stakes race?
That's right. It's my first time, thanks to Wayne Lucas.
Did you know this?
Well, I told Michael Tabor, he says, how does he like the course? I said, he's rode it lots of times. He'll be fine.
What did he tell you before the race, John?
Well, basically, he said just to let it come out of there, just have a nice hold of him, you know, and he'll be 1, 2, 3 in the first part, and then the 3/8 pole, you start to get your position, go on. By the quarter pole, you make sure you have at least a length. It was a little later than that, but we got the job done.
You got the job done, and we're watching it right here, Wayne, and this has to be very satisfying.
Yeah, I wanted him to have a length lead when he changed leads, is what I told him right here. Well, it's not quite a length, but he's running easily here. And I felt good right here, and I know John did too, because he's got his momentum. He's on the outside. I mean, it couldn't have been a better ride from a standpoint of strategy. John placed him perfectly.
And a versatile performer. On the lead, coming from off, turf, dirt. Congratulations, Wayne Lucas.
I think he'll run on the dirt, too, and we're going to get a little bit excited about that. There's some dandies coming up here in California this winter.
And he might be on with some of your horses.
Well, I hope so.
Okay, back to Chris Lincoln. Thank you, guys.
All right, congratulations, Wayne Lucas, with his first Turf Festival victory for owner Michael Tabor and Marlin. All the best in thoroughbred racing on ESPN, where you're enjoying this afternoon. Don't forget, coming up Tuesday, it's a great college basketball doubleheader. The DirecTV Grade 8 Wake Forest, Mississippi State at 7:30, followed by the perennial Big Ten champion Purdue and the national champion Kentucky at 9:30. Dave?
Well, the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after Thanksgiving has really turned into a turf tradition. This turf festival is dynamite, loved by the fans. $2.15 million in purse money and 6 stakes races spread over the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday was really exciting because a 2-year-old by the name of Ascutney from December Hill Farm just surprised everybody. Absolutely last at the top of the stretch, trained by David Donk, looked like he didn't have a shot to win it, came through like a shot, and Ascutney is a horse out of this turf festival that you're going to hear about. But if you didn't see the morning papers as to what happened yesterday, here's what did happen. In the $250,000 Generous at a mile, a newcomer to American racing was about to say hello.
At the top of the lane, Play Wacky for Me cuts the corner, leads it by 1. He'll be tackled by Steel Ruler, and Steel Ruler goes by to take the lead. Zippers up, Demolition Man. Hello is charging through between a wall of horses. Hello is flying on Steel Ruler. Steel Ruler's got the lead. Hello gobbling up the ground, and Hello will get up to win it in the final jump. Hello wins the Generous from a tough Steel Ruler. Divine Insight was third.
Hello greets trainer Ron McAnally with a victory in the Generous and verifies his Group 1 Italian form. Chris McCarron was aboard for the come-from-behind victory. Now in the $300,000 citation, Bo Jingles and Gentleman dueled up front with Smooth Runner and Helmsman just in behind.
Winding their way to the top of the lane in the citation. Gentleman now a short lead. Bo Jingles on the inside responds and kicks back to find their back to Smooth Runner, who finds a seam now in third. Via Lombardia in high gear, and Helmsman deep stretch. Gentleman striding clear. Gentleman opening up on the field of the citation handicap, and Gentleman going on to score. Gentleman winning it by 2.5 over Smooth Runner. Via Lombardia got up for third.
Gary Stevens guides Gentleman to his 3rd straight win in the mile and an 8th citation. And even though he's perfect on U.S. turf, trainer Dick Mandela says a dirt race may be in this gentleman's immediate future.
All right, Dave brought us up to date on all the action so far. You just saw Marlin, of course, winning our Crown Royal Hollywood Derby. Well, let's set up our feature event. The $700,000 Matriarch. Here are the conditions of racing for the big event. The fillies and mares 3 and up on the turf, going the classic 1.25 mile distance. Again, it's a Grade 1 event, $700,000 in the purse. Let's meet the field now that includes 9 Grade 1 winners. We'll start with the 1, Doodah. You see, 19-1. That's the winner of the race last year. Gary Stevens rides. Wind Sharp, Grade 1 winner against Colts, 5th in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Real Connection, 2nd in the recent Grade 1 Yellow Ribbon. Hollywood Dream, multiple Group 1 winner from Germany with Cash Asmussen in for the ride. Memories of Silver, the only 3-year-old in the field. Bailout Becky, the 6th horse from the East. And here is the favorite, the 7-horse Temerita, Europe's best filly, and our race favorite this afternoon. Then it's Oriette, the 8-horse, Group 1 winner of the Gamely here. All Pride has not won since the 95 Yellow Ribbon. Olympia Dukakis, a Group Stakes winner from Italy, is the 10. Dixie Pearl, the 11. And Juan Desta, 3rd in the last 2 Matriarchs, rounds out our very classy field. Well, how do you find a winner with quality like this? Well, we hope we can unlock some of the answers with our thrifty keys to victory. Luke Kreitvoss has those for us.
Well, no particular style of runner is dominated so far on the turf course at Hollywood Park this meet. We've had horses coming from way off the pace, stalking the pace, or wire-to-wire winners as well in equal amounts so far this meet. I think the key in today's Matriarch is for the rider to get his horse in a position where her particular style can excel. Only one horse in this race has ever gone wire-to-wire. That was Ariette here last summer in the Grade 1 Gamely here at Hollywood Park. Some of the stalkers like Al Pride and Olympia Dukakis have got to apply some pressure early. The Matriarch is almost always decided by a length or less at the wire, and generally there are at least 2 or 3 horses that could have gotten there had they avoided trouble. Now, if Temerita runs back to her Beverly D at Arlington, everyone else will have to move way up to beat her.
Thank you, Luke, but Temerita certainly has to be considered the one to beat as you take a look at Memories of Silver waiting in the paddock. Welcome back to Hollywood Park. You're looking live at the paddock, and that's where our fillies and mares are waiting to be saddled and come on out here to the racetrack. Well, as you mentioned, today's Matriarch field, there are several fillies and mares who are looking for that Eclipse Award as the best of the female turf division of this year. Let's meet a few of the top candidates right now. Temerita comes from Ireland and has won turf races in 5 different countries.
Officially, she's the highest rated filly in Europe. You know, I mean, she's won 3 Group 1s this year. Very, very good races, and there's no other filly or mare that's rated higher than her at the moment.
And Temerita has been perfect in her 2 trips to North America, including the Grade 1 Beverly D at Arlington International.
So Beverly D probably was her best performance, really. She was very, very good. She was nearly unbeatable on the day, the way she quickened up in the race, you know. But she was doing everything right at Arlington, and travelled well, and everything went according to plan. And the ground was perfect. She was just very, very good on the day.
Trainer Wally DeLossie thinks his 5-year-old mare, Wind Sharp, could also be very good again, following surgery to correct a breathing problem.
Definitely loves the distance. 1.25 miles, I won't say it's too short for her, but probably her best distance is 1.5 miles. Last year in the same race, she got beat a length and a quarter. Of course, it was 1.25 miles, and she was green then. That was her 2nd race in this country. She's a much more seasoned mare now, and she's using her head a little more, especially since we got this air operation we did on her. It's made a big difference in this mare.
Young trainer Marty Jones also has his eye on an Eclipse Award for his filly Oriette, who started the year with 3 straight wins, including the Grade 1 Gamely.
she ran probably the best race she could run that day, and it might have took a lot out of her because I think it's taken us a long time to get her to come back from that race. I think she ran maybe better than she could that day, and it's taken a lot out of her, but she's finally getting back on her game, and hopefully we might have the same kind of tactics front run, and it doesn't look like a lot of pace coming up in the Matriarch, so she might kind of have the same style for this race.
And all the participants seem to agree that this race should decide the Eclipse Award for Champion Turf Female.
Well, I think the Matriarch is coming down to pretty much being the Breeders' Cup for fillies and mares on the turf. They don't have that race in the Breeders' Cup, and I think all the big mares have waited, and they're showing up here for this race. It's a very competitive race. They've all accomplished similar things, and I think the winner of the race could be champion.
Well, a couple of others, along with the race favorite Timarita, I think could also lay claim to a title should they win this race, including the hard-knocking Juan Desta, winner of over $835,000 for trainer Bobby Frankel and Judmont Farms, and our 3-year-old Invader from the East. Don't forget the 5 Memories of Silver, undefeated against her own class, but trying older fillies and a little classier fillies for the first time. Dave?
Well, let's check the odds board in this dreamy dozen, as the racing form called them in the Matriarch. We have Duda up to 17-1. Wind Sharp is at 6. She's a hard knocker. Real Connection is at 19. Hollywood Dream at 20-1. Memories of Silver started out at 8, is now 9-2. Bailout Becky is at 10-1. Timarita, who's been training beautifully, 9-5. John Murtaugh is in for the ride. Ariette is up to 16. All Pride at 13. Olympia Dukakis, longest price on the board at 50. Dixie Pearl at 25, and Juan Desta completes this outstanding field for the Matriarch, is now 6-1 with Corey Nakatani. Now let's take a look at the field for this year's Matriarch. We start with the defending champion of this race, Duda, trained by Billy Mott. Gary Stevens looking for his 3rd winner of the afternoon. He rides Duda for the first time. Number 2, Wind Sharp, a Keeneland September 92 purchase for only $8,500, 5th in the Breeders' Cup Turf this year. And Eddie Delahousie, who rode Wind Sharp to beat the boys in the Grade 1 San Luis Rey, is in the yellow and blue right there. Number 3 is Real Connection, a supplement to this race. The bad news, 0 for 7 here at Hollywood Park. The good news, Lafitte Pinkai Jr. is aboard. He was honored yesterday with the Venezia Award at the New York Racing Association. Number 4 is Hollywood Dream, a Grade 1 winner in Germany and Italy. And Texas-bred Cash Asmussen rides the German-bred, and he rode her in Italy, so he's reunited with this mare. Memories of Silver, the only 3-year-old, 4 wins in 5 starts since she was switched to the turf. That was a good move. Robbie Davis in from New York for the ride. Number 6 is Bailout Becky, a $40,000 Keeneland purchase in 1993, was 10th in this race last year. Should do better this year, says Billy Mott, the trainer, and Pat Day, who was 3rd in the Naira Mile yesterday, is in from Gotham for the ride. Timarita, the horse to beat, has been turning heads all week, and John Murtaugh rides this horse, who gets Lasix for the first time. And John, of course, won the Breeders' Cup Mile last year with Ridgewood Pearl. He knows his way to the winner's circle. What a beautiful gray filly Timarita is, the Irish bred, and the favorite right now. And here is Aurette, the 8-horse, expected to switch back to her front-running style. And Kent DeSormo, who rode her to victory in the Gamely, is back aboard looking for another Grade 1 tally. All Pride is a Christmas gift from Sid to Jenny Craig back in 1994, who's been a consistent and tough Grade 1 performer here on the West Coast. And Chris McCarron rides. He's won the Matriarch 3 times. All of those aboard flawlessly. Olympia Dukakis is the Italian bred who's just not fulfilled her promise. Ron McAnally looking for some better days. And Alex Solis, who had 3 wins on Friday, is the leading jock here at Hollywood, has the mount. Number 11 is Dixie Pearl, a $180,000 Keeneland purchase in September of 93. This horse has only 1 turf win, but she was 3rd last out, only beaten a half length in the yellow ribbon. And this is jockey Renee Douglas's first Matriarch. And Juan Desta, 3rd in 94 and 95. In this race, she has a come-from-behind explosive style, but she's gotten into a lot of traffic problems in the past. Corey Nakatani, who won the Matriarch in 90 with Count Us In, hopes to keep her out of trouble and get her to the winner's circle. So that's the field. And you know, Chris, in the last 4 years, the female Turf Eclipse Award winner either took the Beverly D or the Matriarch. And Timarita has a leg up. She won the Beverly D this year, and she's the favorite here for the Matriarch this afternoon.
That's what we're here to find out. Do we have a champion again from the Matriarch of 1996? We got 5 solid contenders, and certainly this race is one you don't want to miss. Coming up, our rental racing across America. presented by Visa, presenting the Showdown, the big event in the filly turf division this year. The Matriarch, 9 Grade 1 winners in the field of 12 here going to the post. Let's take a look at the current odds presented by Auto Tote. Dudot 19. Remember, that's last year's winner. Shows how tough this field is. Wind Sharp at 6. Real Connection, Hollywood Dream, double figures. Memories of Silver getting support from the East at 5. Bailout Becky at 11. Here's the other half of the field, and there is the race favorite, the 7, Timarita from Ireland at 8-5. Big prices on the next group, and Juan Desta at 6-1. Star-studded Matriarch field. Obviously, we can find some value in this. Let's look for our Budweiser long shot for the Matriarch.
To recapture memories of high-priced winners of the past, we've chosen Memories of Silver as today's Budweiser long shot. This 3-year-old daughter of Silver Hawk is unbeaten against her own sex on the turf, including this impressive come-from-behind score in the Grade 1 Queen Elizabeth at Keeneland. Memories of Silver was certainly not disgraced with a 5th-place effort in the Breeders' Cup Mile, and should appreciate the return to her own sex, although they are all older than she is. But jockey Robbie Davis certainly remembers that victory in Kentucky, and we remember a 3-year-old named Flawlessly, who won this race back in 1991. So we look for Memories of Silver to make a big stretch run, which will help her possible Eclipse Award run as today's Budweiser long shot.
Joan and John Phillips, 5-horse Memories of Silver, the 3-year-old filly, only 3-year-old in the field. She opened at 8-1. They've now bet our Bud long shot down to 5-1. We'll be racing when we come back. Live back at Hollywood Park, you're looking at the far back of the chute of the turf course. That's where the gate is set up for this 1.25-mile test of the Matriarch, and the dozen delightful fillies and mares have now headed over to the turf course to prepare for this outstanding race. There you see down the chute and then left turns. They get to the main part of the turf course in 1.25 miles. Dave?
Interesting horse in here is Hollywood Dream. She's been racing in Germany and Italy this year. And in her last 2 starts, both in Italy, she was ridden in Grade 1 events by Cash Asmussen. So earlier this afternoon, we asked Cash, well, what could we expect from this mare?
I think that Hollywood Dream is a very, very solid contender in this kind of a race. I don't know that if she's going to adapt to the American style of racing the way we would like, but if we get plenty of pace, just look for her to be 4th, 5th position and come from a long ways out, you might say, in English terms, because she's a filly that takes a long time to get going. The short stretch won't help her. But if she gets a clear run, I think she'll be there today.
And if you think so, you're going to get 25-1 for Cash Asmussen and Hollywood Dream, the German-bred 5-year-old mare, number 4. Ariette is a very interesting horse who I think because of this race, it sets up that she might be a little bit closer than her odds suggest. She's 18-1, and she should go right back to the front end style that got her to the winner's circle before. And Kent DeSormo, who bounces him right out of the gate, is certainly adept at bringing this Irish bred to the front. So Ariette should be looked at early and perhaps late. Chris?
Our stakes record, Dudas set it last year, 2 minutes and 1/5 on this course at the 1.25-mile distance, and the course record is 1:57.3. John Toff and Trudy McCaffrey's outstanding BN with that. They're loading up. I think also take a look at Wind Sharp. Remember, Wally DeLossi's been on a roll. Richard and Martha Stephen and the Thoroughbred Corporation own this 5-year-old mare. They're already look like heading to the Eclipse stand in Florida to pick up an award for their outstanding mare, Jeweled Princess. They could be heading there for 2 should Wind Sharp pull this off today. The back of the chute, 1.25 miles, $700,000. The winner's purse, $420,000. Coming in now, Olympia Dukakis, one of the real long shots with Alex Solis up as we go to the top of the stands. Luke Kreitboss to call the Matriarch.
Hi, thanks again, Chris Lincoln. They're going in for the Matriarch. Number 10, Olympia Dukakis. The Italian bred goes up. Then Dixie Pearl waiting for Juan Desta. Just Juan Desta and Corey Nakatani to go into the outside gate. And we'll be ready for the start for the $700,000 Grade 1 Matriarch. Juan Desta in, the flag is up. Off and running in the Matriarch. It's a perfect start. Dixie Pearl on the extreme outside. Ariette going out to the front. Memories of Silver flashing early speed. Timarita gets a forward spot early, and Duda on the inside. Now into the stretch for the first time, and All Pride is taken over. Moves down towards the inside, leads it clear by 1. Duda under a nice hold is racing second. Memories of Silver hard held early is third. Timarita, the favorite, right there in a good striking spot, racing fourth now, 4 lengths off the pace. Real Connection moving through an opening along the inside. Dixie Pearl next, 4 lengths off the pace. Then Ariette settles down in mid-pack, and behind that one, Desta to the outside. It's a gap of 2 back to Wind Sharp. She's 7 lengths off the pace early, and it's 2 farther back to Hollywood Dream on the inside, and the trailer is Bailout Becky. Round the turn they go. First quarter was 24 2/5 seconds, and All Pride and Chris McCarron lead it clear by 1. Duda tracking in second place. Memories of Silver, the 3-year-old, is third. Real Connection bottled up along the inside, racing in fourth. Dixie Pearl moves up to the outside, the favorite Timarita, who's still full of run in behind horses. Then All Pride on the inside, and behind that comes Ariette. She's 4 lengths off the lead. Dixie Pearl to the extreme outside. Juan Desta next, then it's Wind Sharp. Olympia Dukakis next by a length and a half. Hollywood Dream and Bailout Becky at the back of the pack, about 8 lengths front to back up the backstretch, 6 furlongs in an unhurried 1:13.1. And All Pride leads it by 3 parts of length. Memories of Silver 3 wide. Duda right there in the thick of things. Timarita bottled up, will need racing room. She's hemmed in now by Dixie Pearl 3 wide. Then it's Real Connection, and Juan Desta kicks it into high gear. Ariette needs racing room along the inside as they run to the top of the lane. All Pride has led every step of the way. Memories of Silver. Dixie Pearl sweeps up 3 wide. Duda still no clear shot for Timarita in between fillies, and Juan Desta on the far outside. All Pride digs in on the lead. Memories of Silver right there. Timarita trying to squeeze her way through. Juan Desta hits the front. Wind Sharp coming late. Juan Desta, Wind Sharp can't get her. Juan Desta to win the Matriarch. She won it by a half a length to Wind Sharp, and finishing third, Memories of Silver.
The colors of Prince Kellen Abdullah's Judmont Farms carried a victory here in the Matriarch by Juan Desta. And again, she is one who also had championship aspirations here. The 5-year-old chestnut mare bred in England. Won the Las Palmas and the San Gorgonio earlier on the turf. Then has had some seconds, the San Luis Rey, the San Luis Obispo, and third in the Santa Barbara Handicap. But boy, she was on her best today as Dave Johnson takes another look. It's easy to follow the Judmont green and pink colors.
Yeah, and as you're watching them, I'm going to just read you a few of the comments from Juan Desta's past few performances. Blocked, forced out, squeezed after, hard bumped, awaited room, and boxed in. Not today. In the pink cap on the outside, Bobby Frankel trained Juan Desta, bred in Great Britain. This 5-year-old mare just roars home with Corey Nakatani aboard. Wind Sharp second. Memories of Silver, the Bud Longshot, finishes third. She stayed out of trouble today. She comes to the winner's circle, the unofficial winner right now of the Matriarch. Chris?
Juan Desta, owned by Judmont Farms. It had started 8 Matriarch runners, 6 had hit the board, but none had ever won this prestigious event until today. Reminder, next NFL Primetime, Chris Berman and company take a look at today's action. You haven't missed a thing in NFL football. They'll have all the highlights for you, and we'll return with our post-race coverage of today's Matriarch from Hollywood Park right after the break as Juan Desta is headed to the winner's circle. Hollywood Park following the 16th running of the Grade 1 Matriarch Stakes. And our championship picture, well, what do we do now? Juan Desta certainly was a candidate, and she is heading to the winner's circle after winning the Matriarch. Those are all first-time winners you saw the names of. Judmont Farm had never won the Matriarch, nor had trainer Bobby Frankel. And Corey Nakatani has now swept the Turf Festival in terms of wins. He had won every one of the Turf Festival races except the Matriarch in all the past runnings. His Turf Festival record, an amazing 8 victories now, a second and 6 thirds. And Bobby Frankel's got to feel awfully good too. He's broken his string of races in the Matriarch. Dave?
Well, I'm with Bobby Frankel here. Looking at that racing farm and seeing all the trouble she's been in, this must have been a pleasure for you today, Bobby.
Well, it sure is. I mean, she deserves it. She's been in trouble every race. She's hit the fence the last 3 times she's run. Today he had her outside, and she showed she's the best.
Can we take a look at the action? What was going through your mind?
Well, nothing. She was in a great spot. She got in a great spot, going into the turn, and he rode a great race. He waited, and then she finished great, She deserves it. She's the best filly around.
And the jock is here. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks.
Corey, what was going through your mind on the backstretch? Just stay out of trouble?
Just redeeming herself. Last time I made a bad judgment in the race, and it was unfortunate that she lost, but she's definitely the best turf mare of the country, and she deserves to be a champion. After today's effort from the 12 holes, she had to overcome a lot, and she got the race won.
There she is on the extreme outside with the pink cap coming on. Can you win the Eclipse Award now?
Oh, definitely. She's definitely good. I said the winner of this race is going to be the Eclipse Award winner, and she definitely deserves it.
She runs like a champion. You had her primed to perfection, and Corey, you rode her beautifully. Juan Desta takes the Matriarch in Eclipse Award fashion.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Back to Chris Lincoln.
Let's make it official. Here are the payoffs for Juan Desta. 1340, 660, and 480. Wind Sharp returns 580 and 520. Wally Delassie's mare. And Memories of Silver, the invader from the east, 540. The exacta 64.40. And the time, another stakes record here in the Turf Festival this afternoon. Here are the split times. 49.18 for the half. The 3/4 in 1:13 and change. The mile 1:36. And the finish just over the 2-minute mark. That is a new stakes record for the Matriarch. Back with more Winter Circle activities in a moment. Car rental racing across America is being brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental. Best of all, it's thrifty. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. Transportation provided by Thrifty Car Rental with airport and neighborhood locations worldwide. For reservations, call your travel agent or 1-800-4CARS. Air transportation provided by Western Pacific Airlines. This winter, take Westpac to the max. Mountain Air Express with direct flights to the finest Colorado ski resorts. And a reminder, stay tuned next. It's NFL Prime Time. All the highlights, all the stories from this weekend in the National Football League. NFL Prime Time is next. Our prime time is the Matriarch. What a win by Juan Desta. And our track announcer, Luke Kreitvoss, with another look for us.
Well, Chris, we said earlier the key was to stay out of trouble in the Matriarch. Tim Marita did not do that. Watch her. She's about 5th in the green cap and behind a picket fence of horses. Finally gets clear sailing about the 8th pole, then gets out kicked down the lane by Juan Desta, but certainly not a trouble-free trip all the way for Tim Marita, the favorite. You see Juan Desta out kicks her. She gets clear sailing late, but the best she can do here is 5th in the Matriarch. Oh, she gets up for 4th and knocks out Al Pride. Tim Marita, kind of a troubled trip around the far turn.
Thank you, Luke. Let's take a look at the full order finish with this group of championship mares. You mentioned 9 Grade 1 winners here. Juan Desta, Wind Sharp, Memories of Silver, you know. Tim Marita, the Irish mare, indeed, did finish 4th. May have cost her the title. All Pride, Ariette, Dixie Pearl, Hollywood Dream from Germany running 8th in the Matriarch. Then Real Connection, Bailout Becky, last year's winner Duda 11th, and Olympia Dukakis finishing 12th. So Dave Johnson, put it in perspective for us. Who will win the Eclipse Award for the female turf division?
If you thought that the highest quality races were over for 1996, look again. And the answer and the result will not be here on ESPN, unfortunately, but it'll be in the paper, I guess, in January or late or early February. It's a match race. Juan Desta versus Tim Marita. The prize, winner take all. Eclipse Award for filly or mare on the turf. It's going to be the closest of races in the Eclipse Awards race itself. Chris?
What a great showcase for international racing. That was the idea behind the Hollywood Autumn Turf Festival. When most people think, as Dave mentioned, racing is over. They certainly think so in Europe. Well, they found another reason to stay in training and come after the big money and come across the Atlantic and come to Hollywood Park. It has truly been a championship showdown. No doubt it will have a great impact with the Eclipse. Juan Desta certainly may have gotten the title just as she has run all year, cutting up at the very last minute at the winner's line. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of racing throughout 1996, and our series may be over, but coming up, PRCA National Finals Rodeo. It's the king of all rodeos from Las Vegas. The NFR starts Friday on ESPN2 at 11 o'clock. We'll have all 10 go-rounds. Juddmonte Farms, Bobby Frankel, Corey Nakatani, and Juan Desta take the day in the championship showdown.